What's good, everybody, on this Sunday evening? This salty Sunday evening for some of us Buckeye fans, or I would say for all of us, really, coming off that loss. A lot to talk about with the situation. And then, of course, we got our draw announced today. We'll be playing in the Cotton Bowl on December 31st versus the winner of Texas A&M and Miami, the Miami Hurricanes. Interesting. I really want to know y'all's thoughts on that bracket. And did we get a good draw? Do you think Indiana had a tougher draw? I want to hear from the chat. If you got any super chats, shoot them through and we'll discuss it. Again, a lot to talk about. We'll get into Hartline and all the stuff going on with him, the distractions that come with that. It's a lot to talk about. I got some thoughts about this game too. And then Nevada's going to join us a little later. He's finishing up watching his Packers in a tough battle with the Bears. Let me see that score. Okay. Oh, it's over. his Packers won. But do me a favor, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you have not subscribed. Please do that. Subscribe now. Also, Apple Podcasts. Make sure you subscribe there as well. Quick and easy. Also with the super chats. Y'all know the drill, y'all. Helps go towards the Pay It Forward, which is our military responders. We're going to take care of them because they always take care of us. For now, I'm going to bring in the brother, Dev, hopping in here, and we're going to bring Nevada in a little later when he's ready. But Dev, man, we have not had a chance to talk, not like this, since the game. And so I know you got a lot to talk about, a lot to say. Oh, man, last night was just frustrating and whatnot. And here's the homie Nevada Buck now. What's up, brother?
Oh, man, Packers, go Pack, go. Packers.
Yeah, I just saw they won. Good for
won.
you.
I was watching, and I said, hey, look, I want to get on the show. This is very important to me, this, but I got.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And I was looking at my score app, and I saw they were driving. The Bears were driving in the red zone. I was like, uh-oh, this is about to go to OT. And so I was like, let me go ahead and bring Dev on here because Nevada about to be watching this game for a whole another 20 minutes.
Hey, I can bounce if needed. Not an issue. You guys good now?
Hey, I'm always good with Dev staying. How about you just hang around as long as you want to, and then if you got to bounce, you can bounce. How about that?
All right, all right. I'll see how this conversation goes. Maybe say a few things, and then get out of here. Let you guys have your conversation.
It's all good, man. Listen, this is basically a video version of our group chat. So stay on.
No,
not
a
censored version.
That's it, Devin. You got to start screaming and be Moses. You got to curl into a fetal position and start whimpering or something like that, and that'll be just like that.
Oh man,
Nevada. I don't know if you watched the live stream or not, but I did not hold back, bud. Everybody is well aware of who I am.
Oh no. Yeah, it's funny because last night I was going to get on, I was going to say let's do a post-game show, but it really wasn't even the law. I wasn't even that bummed about the loss. There was a big UFC card going on last night. I was watching the fights, and I'm just like, let's just kind of let all the dust settle and kind of get there. But normally when Ohio State loses, I honestly, and this is a terrible admission, but I have trouble sleeping after they lose. It bothers me at that level. You know what I'm saying? And last night I slept like a baby. It didn't really change all that much. It changed, a little bit about where you play and about who you play. But at the end of the day, we're gonna have to play three pretty good teams to win the national championship. And that's where we're at. I like that the first game's down in Dallas. Actually, I mean, would I preferred it be in the Rose Bowl? Yeah, I'd have preferred it be in the Rose Bowl for a lot of reasons. But Dallas is, we've had some great success down in Dallas. I love Jerry World. I just love the whole Metroplex area, and I'm excited about it. And I think, frankly, Texas A&M or Miami, I mean, they're not all that, guys. You know what I'm saying? We can beat either one of those. Let's put it this way: if we can't beat either one of those guys, then we got real problems. So I think we're gonna be okay.
So real quick, fellas, let me pull this up on the screen because I was going to ask the chat, Dev, Nevada, what do y'all think about the draw? Now, I know you just said what you said about our bracket, but who do you think? I guess let me put it like this. Do you think the 1 seeds draw is harder or easier than our draw? And who has the from 1 to 4, who has the best draw to you? Let's talk about all of that. Dev.
Okay. So I know everybody's going to have different opinions of this here, but I like our draw over Indiana's, as in I would rather play Miami or A&M than Alabama or Oklahoma for sure. But I would rather, if I got to pick one, the Ole Miss Tulane one there is awful nice. You know what I'm saying? But I think in this one we're talking about, if we win that game yesterday, we're in Indiana's spot, which I like our spot better than I like Indiana's spot. So going anywhere else besides that, I'm not sure is a relevant conversation, but legitimately, I would rather play Miami or A&M than Oklahoma or Alabama. But that's just me.
So Nevada, real quick before you respond, do you think the Ole Miss Tulane draw should have gone to the 1 seed? Because to me, that's clearly the easiest draw. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it looks to me. That's the way it looks to me. But I think it's a weird situation because Ole Miss, lost their coach and stuff, but you just don't know what you're going to get with a team like that. That's kind of a wild card. They could play. There's no reason to believe that they're just going to be a complete mess. I mean, so Ole Miss at fully operational and hitting on all cylinders, dangerous team, very very dangerous team. So I think at the end of the day, you're probably going to end up with the Final Four as it's configured. Even though I think Oregon's going to lay it on Texas Tech personally. I don't think Texas Tech is very good, and I think Oregon is pretty good. And so for Indiana to get Oregon in the semifinals, that's not going to be a layup. And obviously Georgia, tough matchup for Ohio State, but that'd be in the when you're not playing down in the Mercedes-Benz Dome down in Atlanta. That game's out in the Fiesta Bowl. So I mean, all things considered, let's put it this way. I always say you get what you deserve. I think we got what we deserved. The number 2 seed overall, that's what we deserved. We didn't win the game last night. We certainly didn't deserve to be the number 1 seed. I didn't think we deserved to be the number 3 seed, regardless of who they're playing. So I think we're right where we should be. And it's fine. This path this year is a heck of a lot easier than last year's path.
Yeah, it is.
I can tell you that. So from that standpoint, I'm very pleased and happy and optimistic about things.
Yeah, so I'll give my thoughts on it. Yeah, I agree with Dev. Although I haven't been that impressed with Alabama this year overall. They can be dangerous with, they have some weapons, they have talent. Oklahoma, their defense is actually pretty good. I don't know. I think I like this A&M and Miami bracket better than the 1 seed. I will agree with that. Miami has been all over the place this season. A&M should have lost a couple times, and then of course lost to the team we beat in Texas. I definitely like this draw, but also, fellas, I've been begging for this Georgia rematch. I wanted it last year. I was salty that that Penn State goofed and lost that game because I wanted to play. I'm sorry, no, my bad. What I'm trying to say is I'm salty Georgia didn't make it to the finals. Like I wanted to play Georgia for the national title game because I want my get back for that 2022. I still want that, fellas, like badly. And it's going to be a tough game, but I do think we're better than them when we're actually playing at our best and coaching at our best. And we can kind of get into that. That's a good segue to kind of touch on last night's game, and then we can touch on Hartline and everything going on with him, fellas. But Nevada, what's your thoughts on last night's game? I guess in your summary of where you are now, a day after. I have rewatched the game myself. I've taken notes. I've thought about it. Whatever. It's a little different when it's fresh right after the loss compared to now. So where are you now, Nevada?
Well, I'm going to say something, and we always pride ourselves on being really honest on the show, and I'm just going to be really honest. I think last night's loss was the best thing that could happen to this Ohio State team. If your goal is to win the national championship, if your goal's different, if you're about Big Ten titles or achieving the 3 goals for the team, or then I understand why you'd be a sad panda about losing last night. But in terms of getting to the national championship, I think last night was the perfect tonic because I've been saying all year long that the 14 personnel stuff that they're running, meaning 4 tight ends in the red zone, was an abject failure. It's too many bodies. I've referred to it 100 times as football in a phone booth. I don't understand why we do it. Um, I've dug a little bit more deeply to find out why we do it because that's always been a really good big question of mine is like if something seems so obvious to us as fans, and we've seen it since day one, we're like, this doesn't make sense. One, two, no one else does this. There's no other team at any level of football that runs four that we had out there. We ran 14 personnel last night, and one of the four was not Max Clare.
Yeah.
Literally, I mean, like that's how liberally we're going with the tight ends. And I want to dive into this. I found this to be really interesting. What the story is, the whole story of the 4 tight end stuff is it's the story of Keenan Bailey. Keenan is Ryan Day's guy. And when I say he's his guy, every coach has kind of got their guy on the staff, that guy that, kind of tells them the gossip that's going on in the staff, kind of their inside guy with the other guy. And that's who Bailey is to Ryan Day. So he's really endeared himself to Ryan. And now when Bailey got promoted to become the co-offensive coordinator, which now he's in the room as the tight ends coach, and he's the co-offensive coordinator, he lobbied Ryan to say, hey, give my guys a bone. I've got this tight end room. Give us the red zone. Give my guys the red zone. And Ryan Day's giving it to him. And that's how we ended up in this situation where we play 4 and 5 tight ends at a time out there, and to the detriment of taking off J.J. Smith and Carnell Tate and other, Brandon Innes and other playmakers off the field. So I think it took a disaster like last night for them to re-examine what they've been doing with that. I think if they would have won the game, I don't think they would have made the hard looks. I said the same thing after the Michigan game last year. It was going to take something like that for them to reevaluate some fundamental things about how they're doing the offense and the defense. I think for the offense this year, it's strictly the red zone. It's strictly we don't need to fix much else. Here's your 2 fixes you need to do. One, hey, Tegra, you're not playing anymore. Gabe, you're the right guard now. Okay, now the offensive line is fixed. And then secondly, in the red zone, if I would run Brandon Innes, Carnell Tate, JJ Smith, and Max Clare out there every single time, have a 5-man line, a quarterback, and an offset back. And that's how I do it. And you will stop the other team from blitzing. You will stop the other team from loading the box. They have to respect what you're doing on the outside. And now you might actually be able to run and move them up front in terms of doing stuff. So I think that our fixes, if we make those fundamental little fixes, we're fine. Because defensively, we're ready for prime time. I had questions, just always in the back of your head. You're like, well, is our defense really as good as I think they are? You know what I'm saying? Are we really that historically good deal? Yeah, we are. We really are that good. And even when I felt like Indiana was struggling the whole night to make play. I thought we could get yards in chunks, and they were just kind of memeing on down the field. Penalty, third down conversion, missed holding call, great throw, great catch. I mean, they got it down on a 3rd and 8 on a bomb when Low Styles is right there for the play, and the guy just made a good catch. And then on the touchdown of Jermaine Matthews, he's right there. Great back shoulder throw, great execution, great. So, we're there defensively, a couple of tweaks on offense, but I do want to talk about the kicking the field goal, when you're down 3 in that situation. I think that's a mistake. And I said it at the time. This is not a second guess. This has nothing to do with, just because we missed the field goal. You go for it in that situation because if you miss, Indiana's in the shadow of their own goal line at that situation right there. And if you stop them, they get the ball, you get the ball back around the 50. And if you make it, you probably run the clock down, way, way down, score the touchdown, and you're up 4. They got to drive the length of the field for a touchdown. There's no way on earth you kick the field goal in the situation. I think that was just not a good decision by Ryan. And I don't understand why he did it in a game like this where he could be fast and loose, where he could take chances, where he could show that he's kind of the new Dan Campbell. Ask yourself, would Dan Campbell of the Lions kick the field goal in that situation, or would he have gone for the touchdown? Yeah, he would go for the touchdown every single time. Well, that's what Ryan Day should have done. I think we've got some good fixes. I think we've got some easy fixes, and I think we're going to be formidable in the play. That was a long answer to your question, but that's how I saw the game, and those are my feelings.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot. There was a lot to unpack, and I mean I don't even have time to get into all my thoughts, and I'll give them. But Dev, I want you to respond to that and give your thoughts before he does. Please, please, please. Big show tonight. Let's hit the like button. Get some more people, more eyeballs on this show, so they can experience this content as well. Hit that like button if you have not already. And then Dev, after you go, I want to pull up a quick clip for y'all that I want to show you in my rewatch. That is just, it points to my frustration about something. But Dev, what you got, brother?
Yeah, I mean, I got to agree with Nevada on this being the best thing that could happen to this team. And it took me a minute to get there. And here's why I'm there, because during the regular season, watching the red zone, watching the heavy tight end things, watching how we operate in the red zone, I always came on the show and said, hey, Ryan Day is not doing other things because we're waiting for the playoffs. And I believe that because Ryan Day even said in a press conference, hey, when it's time to turn up the gas, we'll turn up the gas. So I was always under the impression that, hey, man, when it comes down to the time when we have to start scoring touchdowns, we're not going to be running those things. So I do agree that, I mean, yes, does it hurt the pride to lose? Absolutely. Did we want to win? Yeah, but the fact that we're still running those heavy tight end sets was insane to me. The only touchdown we scored was when JJ and Carnell were on the field, right? And then every other time, it's so obvious. People want to point to the offensive line being bad. I hear you. There's several things we can point to, but that still didn't stop us from driving 80 yards down the field into the red zone, scoring 0 points, and then driving 70 yards down the field into the red zone and scoring 0 points again. What stopped us from scoring points was the heavy tight end sets. J.J. Smith is one-on-one in the red zone and gets a 5'9" corner who he had been bullying all game. He was unable to stop J.J. I mean, look at the Hail Mary throw at the end of the game. Who comes up with it? J.J. There were 5 defenders on him, and he caught the ball, right? So, I mean, you know, that's part of it as well. But I mean, that's the number one reason we lost the game right there, if you ask me. The offensive line, Tegra, has got to go, right? Time to move on from him. He has too many mistakes. But yeah, in the red zone, you cannot take JJ and Carnell off the field. 60% of our red zone plays ran in this game did not consist of both JJ and Carnell in the game. But people that want to complain about the defense, if the offense would have scored points in those red zone runs, nobody would be complaining about Jermaine Matthews and Lorenzo Styles getting passes caught on them. The defense actually did better than what I thought they would do. I guessed Indiana would score 17 points. So the defense did phenomenal. They did amazing. Yeah, because we lost, we'll nitpick it, but the loss goes to the red zone. I mean, it's very clear and obvious. The offensive line needs worked on. And then also, I'll say this as well. Jaden Fielding cannot be the starting kicker anymore. Got to go. You got a kicker in Jackson Corvell who transferred in, who made a 52-yard kick last year to win a game under pressure. Sure, Fielding can make the kicks when we don't need him to. I know he made one in the national title game, but that put us up 11. That didn't tie us. That didn't put us up. It put us up 11 points. He has never made a kick when we really needed him to, and it breaks my heart to say that. Jaden Fielding, great dude, a lot of faith put in him, but I mean, after the Michigan game last year and this game, I think it's time. Give the other dude a shot. That's when it matters most. Defense did great. Got to work on the offensive line, but the red zone stuff, to me, is what lost us that game. You can almost call the red zone coaching malpractice, is what we saw yesterday in the red zone.
All right, man. It's again, it's a lot. It's a lot. And so, I mean, because I want to respond to a lot of what y'all just said, and maybe I will, but I don't even think I'll have time to, honestly, because there's just so much to touch on. One thing I do want to touch on now is this right here. And this has been an all season thing. Let me blow this up. So real quick before I play this, this is a 2-play sequence, y'all. This is the play where Bo Jackson broke a nice run for 20 yards. And then we see middle of the field. This is what we typically do. Play action, take a shot downfield, 7-step drop. I love this play. I love when we do this 7-step drop. It's what we scored against Michigan with Tate. And, and we've hit Jeremiah against Wisconsin. This play, check it out. And then watch what happens to negate the possibility of this play.
Who's got 6 games of 100 yards. That's the most of any true freshman in the country. He has come on strong here in the back half of the season. The state of Ohio's top-ranked running back in his class and 4th in the nation. First down and 10 at the 44. Saying sprints out, sets up, look down, and get him again. Woo! Mario Landino.
All right, check this out. Slow motion. Everybody's doing their job. Everybody. Look who gets beat. It's Tegra again. And I'm highlighting this. I made this clip, fellas, because let me stop this in the background. All right. Because to me, all season long, I've seen this to where there's been a breakdown. And when you're watching the game real time, you're following the ball. You don't always get to see where the breakdown was. I go back and watch games, and lo and behold, more often than not, number 77 is getting blown up or beat, and everybody else is doing their job. Listen, I don't have nothing personal against Tegra. I'm sure he's a nice kid, great family, and he actually played pretty solid against the team up north last week. He's just so wildly inconsistent, and you just never know when he's going to rear his head as far as these type of plays. So what's downfield? If Sayan has a second more or a second and a half more to look downfield, is Tate open? Is JJ open? And I went back and looked. Even if they weren't open, Bo Jackson was wide open for the check down. And we know what he can do with the ball after the catch. So, and that wasn't the only play. There were other plays where Tegra was just getting blown up. And then Van Sickle came in the second half. Things started to improve on the right side. So I know they're trying to rotate, and Van Sickle hasn't been the most consistent and all the other stuff, but you might just have to just ride with Van Sickle and just give him all first team snaps for bowl prep and just live with whatever the result is, because I saw too much of Tegra, not just the line, because we just say, oh, the line. It wasn't just the line at times. He wasn't the only one. Phillip Daniels got beat one time, maybe once or twice, but the common denominator has been Tegra Shabola. I'm just telling you from rewatching games, y'all. And so I'll let y'all respond to that. I just wanted to show that clip because I was frustrated, Nevada, watching that.
Well, yeah, and to Devin's point, we made the change, and then our last 2 possessions short of that last little 15-second one at the end of the game was an 80-yard drive and a 71-yard drive. So it did bear immediate fruit as soon as we made that change. So that's why I think it's really a simple fix. Just get rid of this. Nobody runs 14 personnel. Nobody at any level. Not at high school, not at college, not in the NFL, not in youth football, not in little 4th grade Columbus flag football. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody does that. And it's like, we just got to get rid of it. It's just dumb. It's dumb. And, Ryan is a great coach. Emphasis on the word great. And I'll say great coach. I think he's the best coach in college football. Nobody I'd rather have. But sometimes he can be stubborn. And sometimes he can have a blind spot. And I think this is one of those times where this has been a problem since the beginning. We don't have a running quarterback. So you're immediately making your red, short yardage and red zone, running the ball is going to be challenging when you don't have running quarterback. That's okay. I can do that. But the way to compensate for that is not by bringing more people into the box. It's by spreading them out and having less people in the box. So they've got to make this change. It's very simple. Just run a normal offense, Ryan. You don't need to be a slave to Keenan Bailey's, hey, my guy's on this. Just, it just seems so silly. hey, my guys are going to take over the red zone. We'll be the red zone guys. No. Why would you put somebody in there who plays 6 plays a game and put him in there in the most important play of the game and take JJ and Carnell off the field? It doesn't make any sense. It's actually insane. And I know people have been saying, and I know, Devin, you're a true believer. You're like, hey, maybe he's saving it. Maybe he's saving it for the playoffs, and we're trying to
It's plausible.
No,
I'm not there anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I think this is it is what it is. And I think at this point, let's just kind of call it. And can I jump to another topic? Because I do want to hear your guys' opinion on this. Um, the Brian Hartline situation. Now, the Brian Hartline situation, if you guys remember back, we've always compared Day to Saban. You know what I'm saying? That's a count. We've said, B, you and I've talked many times about how Ryan Day is the new Nick Saban, right?
Yeah.
And he's adopting a lot of stuff of Alabama. When Lane Kiffin was doing his stuff with Saban, you know what Saban did? He sent him on down the road, and then he appointed Steve Sarkisian to call the plays after. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the Brian Hartline thing is the distraction. And I think seeing Brian Hartline in the private plane wearing the USF colors flying down there, I don't know how you reconcile that with telling your players to lock in, with telling your players, hey, this has got to be the most important thing in your life. You got to be really focused on this. You got to, and Hartline is down in South Florida. I would move on from him. I said this at the time, guys. So this isn't a second guess. I said at the time, I said I would immediately, no hard feelings, just Brian, go do your USF thing. You're out, you're mentally out the door. Go do your USF thing. Chip Kelly, you know the team, you know the playbook, you know the terminology, you know all the players. Come in and help me for 3 games. Come in and help me for 3. Then you can go do whatever the heck you want to do, but help out the Buckeyes for 3 games. And if Ryan, if you just want him as the eye in the sky while you call plays from down the sideline, do that. But move on from Hartline, because Hartline, he was never a great OC. The reason we had him the OC job was we all knew why it was. We wanted to keep him in. We didn't want him to move on. We wanted to keep his recruiting chops. I understand all that. And again, I don't begrudge Brian one bit taking this job. I think you got to move on from him now, though. I think it's a distraction. And I think the way that the offense played on Saturday night, I think it's manifesting itself into the play on the field. Think you got to move on from Brian, but would love to hear your 2 guys' opinion on that same topic.
Yeah, I'll go real quick, and I got it pulled up, and I won't even play the audio. It's just him addressing, USF Nation. I'm heading down there, go Bulls. So, I mean, here's the thing. Last night just plays more into the big question before the game, is the Brian Hartline situation a distraction? Like last night's loss, I mean, it's a mixed bag. You can point to a bunch of different stuff. But we all said, hey, like this is definitely a distraction. How are they going to handle it? And so now, after this loss, I mean, it's even more of a question. So I know Ryan Day and the coaching staff, Ryan Day even mentioned it in one of his pressers. He pointed to other scenarios where coaches like Tom Herman, he didn't say Tom Herman, but I'm giving you examples. Others have done this. They're saying, hey, this has been done before, it can be done. Okay, I mean, I get that. That's fine. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to work here. And yeah, Nevada, I have serious questions. I mean, I get he has to handle business. He just got hired as a new coach. I mean, I would feel a little better, Nevada and Dev, if maybe Hartline was a more seasoned OC who's been doing this for years, like a Chip Kelly, like a Tom Herman was, to be able to say, okay, you know what? He's been there, done that. I think he can handle it. I don't know about that. This is literally his first season being an OC and actually calling plays. And so, yeah, it's a serious question. Ryan Day's got some work to do on what, I know he said he's going to stick around and I think he's going to really, all the people saying he was calling plays last night, which I don't agree. He's probably actually going to take more of that responsibility now in the days coming with everything going on, probably. But I'll go ahead and let y'all respond. I wanted to say something else about the offense and the 14 personnel, but I'll get back to that after we talk about Hartline.
Yeah, the Hartline thing, it goes to this. It goes to, man, this game reminded me so much of the Michigan game last year. So much about it reminded me of what we watched yesterday. And I've always assumed that since then, Ryan Day, 16-0, smashing our rival, that part of Ryan Day was gone. And I fully believe it is. But you look at yesterday's game and you see everything that went on, the red zone stuff, the substitutions, the 2-minute drill at the end of the second half, no urgency, nothing. You might ask yourself, well, hey, I thought that was gone. I thought the lesson was learned last year. The embarrassment of the Michigan loss got rid of some of these things going on. But the only thing that happened was the Brian Hartline stuff. So just because we are saying, yeah, Hartline, huge distraction right now, and I do think it had a huge part to play in yesterday's game, does not mean we're trashing Hartline. That's the reality of it. Look how much time Ryan Day had to give to the Chris Henry recruitment, to I'm sure all the other things behind the scenes that this Brian Hartline situation caused. It's not trashing Brian Hartline, but to act like your offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach, who is extremely popular on the team, extremely popular in the fan base, leaving on signing day is not going to cause a distraction. That's ludicrous to think it's not going to. It 100% did. And if you're one that doesn't think it did, then why did we see the things we saw yesterday? James Peoples got put in for one play, absolutely blown up. Julian Sane got sacked. That was on James Peoples, lack of protection. The red zone play calling, and even back it up to that, leaving Tegra in that long. The 2-minute drill at the end of the half, that was like, what is Ryan Day doing? This isn't the Ryan Day we've seen all season. This is not what we are used to seeing. The only thing I can point to is the distraction with the Brian Hartline stuff. There's nothing else I can point to because this was not like normal things to the extent of when you dive into it, you see the rotations of things. I mean, even we still were able to get it down the field, but even some of the play calls, the lack of the quick passes, some of the decisions made, it's like, dang, man, this doesn't look like an offensive coaching staff that was focused and ready to come out here. And you can blame it on the players all you want, but there were a lot of coaching decisions, the rotation, the 2-minute drill, the going for it, not going for it, the red zone decisions that were made. There were things there that was just like, hey, what are we doing here? That's not trashing Brian Hartline. It's just a fact, man. He left. He caused a distraction. I'm fine with him going, and that's not saying I don't like him. Hey, you're a piece of crap, Brian Hartline, get out of here. No, man, it was just a distraction. Yeah, that's what it is, man. And I think I would love to see him leave because he's the head coach at a new football program now. He's on a plane right now. He's going to be missing this whole week right now. He's not going to be here. Just stay there. I don't know.
Just stay there, Nevada.
Stay there. I love you, but stay there.
Yeah, I think you got to get kind of control of what's going on, and I want to give him credit though. I mean, I liked the play where they did like the double pass with Ennis, and he threw it back.
I was going to ask you about that, Nevada.
See, I love you know why I love it? Forget whether it was going to work or not work. What it showed is that you're playing fearlessly. You're playing to win. You're trying. You know what I'm saying? Like I love stuff like that, and I don't think you do it all the time. I don't think it's all about trickeration, but I think when you do that, when you onside kick, when you fake punt, when you fake field goal, when you run a play like that, you're sending a message. Everybody on the team sees that and goes, "Wow, man, that's a baller move. We're going for it." And I think the opposite of that is kicking the field goal on 4th and 1, down 3 points in that situation. I think when it's third and 1, you should be able to run the ball twice and get a yard. You just should. And do I think you should run right into a mass front? No, I don't. I think it's not that complicated. And if you want to run the quarterback, you've got a running quarterback in Lincoln Keenals.
Yes,
and you've had the entire season to prepare him for this moment to be able to get 1 yard for you. And he can't do it. I mean, Julian's actually okay at the quarterback sneak thing. He wasn't yesterday, put his knee down. I mean, Lincoln can't do the quarterback sneak. You can
Right.
Lincoln, you go over there and work with the center and just practice the quarterback sneak 100 times until you're really good at it. He's a big stud. He's a springy athlete. Get the guys behind him and do the bush push with him and just push him forward for a yard. I don't think I think it'd be really hard to stop that play twice in a row on 3rd and 1. And instead, what do? We throw it to Bennett Christian, and then taking the I don't even like I said, I think that the good news, like I don't want to be just here somebody who just identifies problem without solution. I really do believe these are easy fixes,
Yeah.
easy fixes, and I really do believe that it was going to take something like this to have these easy fixes initiated. So the bottom line on this is I really do think we'll see different things when we go down to Jerry World for the quarterfinal. I don't think we're going to be seeing a repeat of what we saw last night, and I feel really good about that.
All right, so real quick, I haven't had a chance to really talk about the game, and I'm not going to be able to go into the depths I want to, which is fine, because we're going to get into super chats. But I want to try to summarize and just touch on a few things possible to get my thoughts out there. So we went through this whole season 12-0 with this 14-13 personnel package, right? It worked for us to the point that we didn't lose any games. We were always questioning it, like, but now we finally lost. So to your point, Nevada and Dev, if anything was going to shake us free from that experiment, because I believe the coaches, Ryan Day wasn't doing that just because, just because. He was either sold on or believed that it would yield really good results down the line with running it and working on it. Well, we played a really good team. And by the way, I also want to say, we told y'all, this is no revelation now. We admitted to y'all that Indiana was a really good team. And to me, last night, they proved it. They are a really good team. I don't think they're better than us. I don't think they're more talented than Ohio State. I think we really did a lot of things to help that outcome of them winning the game, but they're a good team. They have a good defense. I'm not taking nothing away from Indiana. They did a great job, doing what they do, and not so much on our end on what we could have done. So I just wanted to put that out there. Kudos to Indiana for winning the game. With that said, to y'all's point, we got 3 weeks to prepare for the Cotton Bowl. So playing a matchup game against a really good team and that the red zone really being stifled with that package, I agree. I do think that could be the thing to jar us loose from that, to say, okay, listen, this is not yielding the results we wanted, especially against a team like this. We're going to see even better teams or just as good teams in the playoffs. Let's move in a different direction and get our studs on the field, make them defend Tate, Jeremiah, and Claire, in the passing game, and spread it out so Bo Jackson can get busy or whatever. Like, to me, that's a blessing in disguise. The other blessing in disguise, and I think I've already made this point, is that, maybe in hindsight, losing this game did put us in a better situation as far as the playoffs go. We'll see. We'll see. Did we want to lose? Heck no. We want to win every single freaking game. But we lost 13-10. And so now we need to circle the wagons and get ready for the playoffs. And maybe all of this, just like last year and just like other years, when you lose games, you can use it as motivation, correct the wrongs, and go in the right direction and do what you need to do. Sometimes losing forces your hand to do the right thing, and I'm hoping that's the case in this situation, fellas.
Yeah, I just want to. Let me say one thing, Devin, and I'll let you talk. I think Indiana is better defensively than I thought they were.
Yeah.
I think offensively, they're not all that. I wasn't impressed. Like I went into the game thinking that Mendoza. I mean, they're talking about Mendoza as the #1 pick in the draft, like the first pick in the NFL draft, the Heisman Trophy, the prohibited, favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. All this. I thought they were very average offensively. I didn't feel like they really did all that much.
I agree.
And so, so like I said, so I kind of had different feelings about that. I thought, like I said, better defensively than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
But worse offensively than I thought they were going to be. And so, I think they're a cute little team that hit their high water mark last night. I really believe that. And I think when they play Oregon, they're going to get run. I don't think they're going to. They will not make it to the national title game. I think that game was their Super Bowl last night, and I don't see them being a serious national championship contender. Now, that may be a super hot take, and you guys might come back and go, Nevada, that was a steamer. but I really do believe that to be the case, and we'll see.
Dev.
Yeah, I mean, I Indiana did prove me wrong a little bit yesterday. Like they're a little bit better than what I expected them. Their defensive line, their defense, Nevada, kind of like you, a little bit better than what I thought. But let's be real, it's the same kind of feeling of the Michigan game last year. Did that team have any business beating us? I don't think Indiana did either. I mean, we marched down the field easily, 70, 80-yard drives, got in the red zone, 150 yards of offense, both went into the red zone, scored 0 points, guys. 0 points. But, and this next thing I'm going to say is not why we lost at all. But if you're going to act like it didn't impact the game, then you don't know football. The officiating this game, and again, I know I'm that dude that just brought it up, but it was pretty absurd. I mean, the Julian saying sack where he lost progress or whatever, they blew that dead, kind of wild. Our defensive lineman just getting absolutely mauled the entire game. Poor Kenyatta Jackson. I mean, I watched that dude get dragged down to the ground 100 times. Indiana won the game. They deserve to win this game. We got outcoached. We got outplayed. They won the game. This is not Devin make an excuse here. But did they have business beating us? No. And if we see them in the playoffs again, I firmly believe that you will see that they did not have business beating us in that game. I know people are going to take this as, an excuse or whatever, right? You do, but this is me, scarlet glasses off, just looking at it as a football fan. No, I mean, you guys watched the game too. You watched us get in the red zone, and to act like they shut us down in the red zone, I don't know. We shut ourselves down in the red zone. No attempts to JJ or Carnell and the stuff we were doing. Pretty wild. But we got the blueprint, guys. I mean, this is not over at all. I mean, knowing that we try this tight end stuff in this game proves that I was wrong, that we were saving stuff for the red zone. So dead wrong there. But without this loss, we would continue the heavy tight end sets. We would continue using Tegra. And you try this against Georgia, it's dead anyway. So it's like, this is a blessing in disguise for sure. Because if we win, then the coaching staff thinks, oh, Keaton Bailey, well, look, the heavy tight end set's still working. And if you try that in one of these games in the playoffs, that will be the reason that we lose against a Georgia, against an A&M, against Indiana again, right? Whatever it is. So like Nevada said, blessing in disguise, because this forces this coaching staff to make the changes. It now forces them to, because what they were doing clearly did not get the job done.
Yeah, real quick, y'all saw that clip I just posted of Kenyatta Jackson, and I get nervous about posting clips too long because you know YouTube can be a little funny about clips, but he's getting mugged, like literally 2 guys draped all over him. This is like the whole, well, you're making excuses, you're crying. Listen, anybody who follows me on social media, anyone who follows Dev, anyone who follows Scoop, we don't talk about refs all the time. There's some people who always blame the refs. That's not what we do. But there were several plays last night, like the one I just showed, that was just like, what are we doing here? Kenyatta Jackson more than once literally tackled. And it's just like, come on, dog. It don't matter. Put it like this. Even if it was on the Indiana side, and if it's our guys holding and like that, you got to call it. That's a hold. You have to call that. It's just like, so I get you, Dev. It was very frustrating because I know there's missed calls in games, some more egregious than others, but that right there was egregious. That is the very definition of egregious. So anyway, we can move on to super chats. If y'all want to say something about that, go ahead and hop in.
No, I totally agree with that. I think it's not these subtle little holding calls on the inside they might have missed in the mosh pit. It's the tackling our guys right out there in front where there's 3 officials looking at it and nobody throws the flag. and Mendoza goes around the corner and converts a first down. That's the kind of stuff that was frustrating, and that's where I was kind of at in terms of I felt that a lot of the yards that Indiana was getting in first downs and any of the times that they ever sustained drives was kind of memey. It just felt like really that's what you got to do to get it, and yeah, I think that stuff. Hopefully that's the last time we see that particular crew was bad. I mean, it was just bad. Did they cost us the game? No, but they were bad.
Yeah, look at this, man. This is I think my guy Johnny said this is assault in 49 states or something. I forget what he said. But look at this, man. All right, I'm gonna stop. I just thought that was ridiculous. Go ahead.
It didn't go both ways either was the problem, right? I
People
mean,
are trying to say that too, but it
down
wasn't.
in the red zone, right? We did throw one pass to JJ. He was getting mugged the entire time. And then you turn around and the very next drive Indiana has, we get called. I think Jermaine Matthews got called on a very, very soft pass interference call. If you're not gonna right? If you're not going to call it, then just don't call it both ways. But unfortunately, they did. They called pass I mean, that first interception from JJ, I was thinking, oh, they're going to let these boys play. Got there a little early on Brandon Ennis. But, hey, if they're going to let them play, let them play. No, they didn't. We got called for 2 pass interference calls that were just petty, bro. Petty.
Yeah, I agree. But again, to me, I'm not saying that the referees were the reason we lost. Like Dev said, that's not I got several reasons, but that's not at the top of my list. But it was a something. It was a something last night in that game. Some of those calls they weren't making. It was just crazy. But we'll move on and get to super chats because we got them stacking. All right, Will the Thrill, what's up, brother? Thanks for the $9.99. Hartline can hang around, but not as the play caller, in my opinion. I think last night was mostly tight Ryan calling the plays, though. We need bath salts, Ryan, to make another run. I haven't heard bath salts in a minute. What you got on that, Dev? Can't hear you. I think you're on mute.
Something needs to change. That got me bath salts, Ryan. I mean, yeah, something's got to change. And I think it will. Ryan Day proved last year. We watched the playoff run last year. I would say we are all in agreement that was bath salt Ryan Day last year when we won the national title and beat every team by 10+ points.
Nevada?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, Ryan has always been a little schizophrenic, good Ryan, bad Ryan. Bad Ryan's been away for a while for 16 games, and I'm not even sure it was bad Ryan last night. There was just a few things, but we just got to get rid of the red zone stuff. If Ryan just gets rid of the red zone stuff and puts Gabe Vincic at right guard, that's going to solve 95% of our problems on offense. So easy fixes. Let's get it done.
And real quick, because again, I didn't get a chance to really go into my thoughts like that. I'll just quickly say I don't think it was tight Ryan last night. I know that's what people are saying. I don't agree with that. Like Dev said, we had 2 long drives down the field on that really good defense and came up with 0 points. Like Nevada just said, red zone. So when you look at it, when you go back, and I would encourage y'all, go back and rewatch games. You don't have to be John Gruden, John Madden, or some prolific, X's and O's guy. Step out of the emotion of the real-time game and go back and rewatch. It'll sober you and it'll help balance things out. There were a lot of different things in that game that went wrong. Was the play calling always great? No, but it wasn't always play calling. Sometimes there was poor execution by players. Just like in that run last year in the playoffs, yeah, we could say, oh, the play calling was great, but guess what else was great? The execution of said play call. You got both go hand in hand. So I think sometimes we get tempted to just go from one extreme to the other. Oh, blame the players and don't mention the coaches, or blame the coaches and don't mention the players. It's a marriage, okay? There was poor execution last night, and it was poor decision-making, play calling-wise in the red zone. But honestly, philosophically, we have been doing that all year. So we were just there with the 13, 14 personnel living in it. And so now, again, without being redundant, I'm just hoping that loss will jar us loose from the prison of the inconsistent and largely ineffective 14 personnel package in the red zone. All right. I know I just said a lot. Y'all want to say something to that before I move on?
No, well said.
No? All right, cool. Karis, what's up, brother? Thanks for the $1.99. This weekend sucked. It says, what is that a teddy bear and then crying emojis and us? What is that? Are you a Bears fan because you lost to the Packers? I'm confused. Anybody know?
It's got to be a bear reference. It's got to be a bear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Well,
The,
yeah.
the crying little thing is the number of bad plays Caleb Williams made at the end of the thing. It's like bad play, bad play, bad play, bad play.
I wasn't watching, but it was just funny. I was looking at my score app, and I was like, "Oh, they about to score and tie this up," and then doom, 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 and I was like, "I know Nevada's gonna be happy right now." But anyway, all right.
You don't know how many times I was like, dude, I should definitely not be streaming live right now. I need to end this stream immediately. So I was at 20. I showed 20% of my emotions. If you guys get a chance, you want some entertainment, go watch Devin yesterday on live stream. It's wild. Ask guys in the chat. They'll tell you 10,000 people watched it. So
you should go ahead and just like clip up about 4 or 5 little clips called Devin Crash Out 1, Devin Crash Out 2, 3, 4, etc. And just I bet you they get tons of views. All right.
bad.
Ranjit Sori, Pink Floyd Piano. Thanks for the 10. Thoughts on this idea? Bring in Chip Kelly now as special assistant to Ryan Day and announce Chip Kelly now as the next offensive coordinator. Provides longer-term stability now. Plus, CK can help with O-line and run game for CFP. I mean, that's not a bad idea. That sounds good. What you think, Nevada?
Well, I think Brian Daboll's the hot name for the OC job. I don't know. It could be a matter of Chip Kelly, not wanting to go back. What's the old saying? You can't go home again. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to do that, but it's I'm checking with people close to Chip to kind of find out his intentions. But I think having another adult in the room to help you kind of make these decisions and do this analysis, do this game planning, and maybe help you on game days. I think it's look, the good news is you got 3 weeks. 3 weeks is an eternity. That's a long time
Yeah.
that you can implement a guy in terms of doing some stuff and get some help. And all we need out of Brian, Ryan Day was the best offensive coordinator in football. He can do it for 3 games. Just get some guy up the top that can help you. Call for the sidelines, which I know is kind of unique to him because he used to call everything from the booth. But call for the sidelines, take it over, run your offense, and let's go get her done. But like I said, I'm not hearing Chip as much as I'd like him to be. I'm hearing Dable. I know people aren't excited, but you're talking about again another guy who's got experience at Alabama, former NFL head coach. He would be a great addition. You need an adult. Get the adult in the room, and let's get some help here before the playoff.
You got anything on that, Dev?
No, 100%. Get an adult in the room to, if these tight end sets are coming from the Ryan Day, Keenan Bailey relationship, get an adult in the room that'll get in the middle of that relationship and separate it.
I just pictured an adult coming in the room and just like, all right, boys, time to end this now. That's funny. All right, anyway, moving on. At Scum Cheats, excellent handle name. Beautiful handle name. Thanks for the $4.99. Appreciate what Hartline has done for the program. He needs to stay in Tampa, and we need a real offensive X's and O's guru. He adds very little. Jab. Dev, what you got on that?
Yeah, I don't agree with the adds very little. If you're saying adds very little to the offensive game plan, maybe. But the adds very little thing, no, Brian Hartline has done a ton for this program. But yes, just stay in Tampa. Again, not trashing him. Everybody's going to take that as trashing. It's just not. It's the reality of the situation. He's a head coach in another program. Dude, go be that. You're not our coach anymore. Thank
Nevada?
you. Bye.
Well, I mean, and again, let's just look at it, from a straight object. We don't have to guess on this. He resigned, and we kept all the wide receiver recruits that were coming to Ohio State. They all still came to Ohio State. So I just think, I think Brian had a great run here, did some great things. but now his head is elsewhere. And I just think you just move on, man. You just move. I think it's best for all parties if you do that when you got a guy that's got one foot out the door. And let's get the new guy in here and get him to work in terms of, establishing some relationships with those 27 and 28 class guys, and just start, move on. But I think from an X and O standpoint, and from a run game standpoint, and from a Brian was a very average offensive coordinator. We can say that. It's okay. He was very inexperienced. He's only 12 games under his belt in terms of doing it. Let's get somebody in there that's better. And there's guys out there that are available right now that you could do it. One in Chip Kelly that you won a national championship with last year. That's the guy I would get. Get him on a 3-game thing. I mean, there's no way he can put off his, fishing trip to the Bahamas for 3 weeks and say, hey, come out here, let's win. We'll pay you $1 million for 3 games. Let's do this, and let's go win another natty.
Sounds good to me. All right,
I'll do it. I'll do it for 200,000 for 3 games.
We saw your audition tape was the live stream last night, Devin. So I think you've been disqualified from consideration.
Not enough stability there, huh? Not enough emotional stability.
They're going to send Dev an email back with the clip of his live with a question mark. This you, bro?
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks, Devin.
Oh man, hilarious. Pooh Beard, thanks for being a Scoop Watch. Remember, thanks for the $4.99. 2021 UGA is considered one of the best D's team of all time. They gave up 41 to Bama in the SEC championship game. We gave up 13 to the number 1 ON CFB, and we are fine. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, last night, as salty as we are for losing, because we don't like losing. And let me contextualize this. Our salty is not the same as others. Like, we have first world problems, right? We don't get a Big Ten title ring. Okay. We're still chilling and shining that natty ring from 2024. I'm still super excited about my program and winning a natty. And plus, there's one on the horizon that we can still get to. I told y'all this before in pods ago. Number 1, national championships. Nothing. It's natty over everything. Out of the 3 goals, natty. I put beating the team up north 2, and I put the Big Ten title 3. That's my hierarchy of the 3 goals. Does that mean I don't care about winning the Big Ten title? No, it's on the 3 goals. I want to win a Big Ten title. It's just the meaning of it is just give me natty ring. Give me natty ring. Beat the team up north because they're annoying and I hate them and I want to shut them up. By the way, real quick, I coach basketball. There were like certain people wearing like Michigan stuff coming to the practices, and guess who didn't have it on this last practice? The Scum fans. They chose not to wear it. You know why? Because they're ashamed. Anyway, all right, go ahead. Whoever wants to hover next.
And dude, there are people out there saying we need to get rid of Lorenzo Styles. He should not be starting. That's ludicrous. That's insanity, man. If we would have won the game, everybody would be praising this defense. Therefore, we should still be praising this defense. Of course, you could say, Lorenzo was there. It was a great catch. Jermaine got burnt one time. How many times he got burnt this season?
Actually.
Twice.
Yeah, but he's still been good, to your point.
13 points, guys.
Okay. You freezing up a little bit, Dev?
The defense did better than what I thought they were going to do. That's just me.
Got you. Nevada, what you got?
Well, yeah, and I want to talk about Arvell Reese just for a second, because there's been a lot of questions about Arvell Reese and what's up with Arvell and why is Arvell a non-factor and not contributing. And I'm like, they're asking Arvell to do different things. If you look at what the OSU defense is trying to do, and I thought Urban Meyer did an unbelievable job on his kind of urban notes or whatever the thing he does where he breaks it down with Jerry DiNardo. And he talks about how they try to get you to bring your protections to one side, and then they bring the pressure from the other side. That's the whole essence of what Matt Patricia. If you wanted to boil down the magic of Matt Patricia this year, that's been the most fundamental thing that they've been trying to do. And so teams are scheming to beat Arvell, to prevent Arvell from wrecking your team. So
Right.
what they're doing is they're showing him, having them slide the protections that way, then they're bringing the pressure from the other side. That's why the other guys are eating. So it's not that Arvell is not a non-factor, that Arvell is not playing well, that Arvell's injured, that Arvell's do this. It's just strictly what Ohio State's trying to do in terms of they featured him a big part of the year. Well, teams are figuring that out. And so if you just keep blitzing him into his double and triple, your three guys trying to block him, you're not going to be effective in terms of doing that. They want to bring other guys in terms of doing it. And I think that's really what's been going on with Arvell Reese. That's why his stats haven't been as gaudy lately, but his impact, he's drawn so much attention, so much of the gravity of what the offense is trying to do is weighted towards stopping him, and it's allowing other guys to feast in the defense. And so I just want to make that point because the defense is playing at such a high level. If Arvell Reese wasn't playing well, they wouldn't be doing this well. But they just
Right.
held, to your point, Indiana to 13 points last night, and I feel like
Yeah.
they were very lucky to get the 13.
Yeah.
So it's clear that we don't have problems with thing. Arvell's not a problem. They're just changing the way they're utilizing him and trying to use him a little bit as a decoy to free up. That's why Caden Curry's eating. That's why Kenyatta Jackson's eating, because so many guys are going there to block Arvell Reese.
Great point. That was a great breakdown by Urban as well. I saw that as well. That was a great point. All right, Gio did. Thanks for the 5. Bottom line, Gabe Van Sickle and Ian Moore are just better than Tegra. Tegra, for being here 3 years, technique is just awful. He's not Big Ten caliber. Yeah, the thing I see with him, he just seems like his hand game is just not very good. Like when he gets beat, it seems like his hands are just not. Listen, I play wide receiver, safety. I'm not an O-line guy, but I've seen enough ball to know in the trenches when you see like bad hands, not getting your hands on a guy. On that play that I showed on the clip, it was the same thing. Like, dude, it just seemed like his hand game is just trash to me from what I see when he gets beat. Dev, what you got on that?
Nothing other than it's the truth, but I will speak on Nevada, what he said about Arvell Reese. It's kind of like the Caleb Downs effect. You look at Downs' stats, a lot of games. It's what Downs allows the other defenders to do. Same with Arvell. But yeah, on this here, I mean, yeah, Gabe Van Sickle was in. We trotted down the field with 2 70-yard, 80-yard drive. Just didn't score, but Gabe's the answer. We have answers. So everybody can relax.
Nevada?
Yeah, I think that you've got enough sample size with Tegra that I think we're probably better off. I mean, at the very least, you've got to platoon him. You've got to actively. I mean, that's the bare minimum. Short or just make a wholesale substitution in terms of doing it. But the offense really kind of calmed down once they made the change. I think it's for the best. I think it's the right thing to do in this 3-game stretch.
Yep. All right. Joshua Dillon, thanks for being a Scoop Ultra member. Thanks for the $4.99. We need to stop saying that we don't care about being number 1 in the Big Ten championship because we do care. So my little rant just a few moments ago, I think addresses this super chat, Joshua. I'm not saying I don't care. I'm saying that according to the list of things that we do care about, it's at the bottom of the list, and rightly so. Let me ask you and anyone else, if you had to pick if you just had one choice between a Big Ten title and a national championship, which one are you going to take? Which one is more important to you? Now, obviously, in a perfect world, you want both. You want to win. You want to hit all your goals. Like last year, the goal was to win a natty, beat the team up north, and win a Big Ten title. 2 of those got eliminated, but the highest one was still on the table, and we went and snatched it. So we lost last night. We didn't get it. Is it that we don't care about a Big Ten title? No, we care. I wanted to win. But guess what? The highest goal is still out there. And we just tasted that glory last year, and we could taste it again possibly this year. So I just want to clear that up for you, Joshua, and anyone else. It's not that me personally, Devin and Nevada can speak for themselves. It's not that I don't care. It's just that let's just be real. We all have certain levels of interest and things we care about more. Is that just not the life? Dev, what you got?
How many people have you guys heard celebrate Oregon winning the Big Ten last year? That's what I have. That's my first question. My second question to you, chat, is I know you experienced this. When Scum fans tell you, hey, you won the national title last year, but you didn't win the Big Ten title, does it bug you at all? To me, it doesn't bug me at all. I mean, B. Moses, you explained it literally perfectly. I mean, there's a set of goals. Natty's number one. Beating Michigan is number two for me as well. And then the Big Ten title. Does it suck we lost? Yes. But if we win the national title, that's goal number one. I could care less. Nobody celebrates Oregon winning last year. I mean, Oregon is upset that they didn't win a national title. They're more upset they didn't win the title than they are happy that they won the Big Ten title. I promise you that.
For sure, Nevada. What you got? You got anything on this one?
Well, yeah, I am of the opinion, and this is my opinion from having watched football for a long time, been around sports for a long time. I actually, and I would feel different if we had just rolled through Indiana last night without problems, rolled through the red zone, ran perfect plays, you know what I'm saying? If we didn't have systemic issues that we need to address, I would say yes, winning last night would have been great, but we could go on a historic thing, the first team to ever go 16-0, the greatest team of all time, blah, 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 blah. But we didn't. And we've been bad in the red zone and short yardage all year long. Something had to change. So towards that end, I think we are better suited. We have a better chance to win the national championship because we lost last night, because that will force the soul searching and the fundamental changes that I think need to be made specifically on the offensive side of the ball. And I don't know if those changes would have come as easily had we prevailed. So that's where I'm at. That's my honest opinion about it. So people may say, oh, that's coping. Oh, that's this. Oh, though you need to hit all the. You can say what you want, but that's how I feel. And I'm not going to stop smiling since we beat Michigan, regardless of what happened. I'm just not. I'm glad we beat Michigan. That was great. I think we're the betting favorite to win the national championship this year. I think we're the best team in college football, and I think what happened last night actually makes us a more dangerous opponent in the college football playoff, not a less dangerous opponent. And I feel strongly about that.
Yeah, and I'll take maybe 20 seconds just to add on top of that before we move on, because that's a very good point. Listen, this is just reality. Like Nevada said, it's not coping. If you've watched sports, even if you haven't played sports, okay, we all grew up playing sports, basketball, football, whatever, baseball, whatever. I can't tell you how many times we've lost games, and it fueled us to come back. Shoot, my little flag football team that I was coaching, we lost the early season game, and it helped fuel us to winning the championship later and getting the ring. Like, it was used as motivation and to also correct things and get things right. Even the great Nick Saban lost games, y'all. And he tells you all the time on broadcast that sometimes it's good to experience that loss, because later on it's going to help you. Do we want to lose games? No. Is it reality for even some of the best teams to lose games? Yes. What are you going to do with that loss? And so we've seen in even recent history what it's done for this program when we actually taste defeat, which is rare. And so I'm looking forward to see how these dudes get off the mat after this game. And we can move on to the next super chat. All right, what we got? Clueless. Thanks for the 5. Thanks for being a Scoop Ultra member. Why didn't we run any slant routes? The linebackers were blitzing every play. So for me, I need to feel fully comfortable with answering that question. I would want to see the all 22. I know Indiana is very zone heavy. They bring zone blitzes. They do a lot of sim pressures. I need to see what's going on post snap behind in the secondary to see if they're dropping. I don't think they were blitzing literally every play. They weren't, but they did bring a guy often. But I need to see what was going on to see the picture that Julian was seeing and that Hartline and that was seeing and what he was conveying to Ryan Day. But I don't know. That's kind of my roundabout response to that. Dev, what you got on that?
Because our offensive coordinator is now the head coach at a different school.
Nevada, what you got?
It's been one of the things that's just befuddled me the entire season is why around the goal line specifically when you have JJ out there that you don't want to slant. I mean, I know they've tried, the fades a few times, and he's big and he's tall, but you got to throw those fades perfectly. A slant, all he's got to do is get inside. If he's inside, anybody can make that throw. It's an easy throw. I don't know why we don't force feed that, especially around the goal line. You've got him one-on-one. Run the slants. It's literally unstoppable. If you execute it properly, you can't stop it. The only way you could stop it would be coming right through the defender and interfering with them. So yeah, that's been one of my biggest questions. Every time I see JJ there on the outside, especially around the goal line, I'm like, why don't we just run a slant? It should be automatic. Don't know why we don't do it.
Yeah, and Joshua, I think this was a continuation to your previous. I think you were like adding on to your super chat. Thanks for the 199. But got yours read. All right, let's see what we got next. Geo did. Thanks for the 5. Blessings and good luck to Brian Hartline, but he should be wished well with a firm handshake to start his journey at USF. Ryan Day go back to calling plays. Yeah, interesting. I mean, Ryan Day in his presser said he's coming back. He's gonna stay with the team. So if that's the case, this is on Ryan Day to do whatever it takes to make sure going forward everyone's all in, or at the very least, the play calling is in good hands, which is Ryan Day's hands, if necessary, fellas. Nevada, what you got?
Well, I mean, just the idea though that you've got a finite amount of time for preparation for this next game, and that a percentage of that, we can debate whether that's 5%, 10%, 50%, whatever, is going to be spent by Brian Hartline hobnobbing USF people about the USF thing. To me, that's just unacceptable. That just doesn't work for me at any level. What you're basically saying is, you're saying, the offensive coordinator job at Ohio State, it's not really a full-time job. It's really a part-time job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do this in like 20 hours a week. So you can still keep your day job and do your thing and play your golf and do stuff. And you can be the offensive coordinator at Ohio State, because we'll just fit it into your life right there. That's what they're saying. I don't believe that to be true. I don't believe this is a part-time job. And I think after the performance last night by the offense, I think we need more resources on the offense, not less resources. I'd move on from Brian. Just my personal opinion.
Definitely hear you, man. Go ahead. You got something
Well,
else? Oh,
we,
yeah, you
we
haven't said
just
that yet. Go ahead.
we just saw a video of Brian Hartline on a plane to go to USF.
Yeah.
After the game that we just went through, he's already gone. So, Nevada, I'll give you a percentage. We have 3 weeks to get ready. As of now, Brian Hartline will be completely gone for the first week. There's 33% of the time we have to get ready for our next opponent. Brian Hartline will be not even in the building.
Yeah. Kind of hits it home there with the percentages. we just gotta hope and pray Coach Day is going to handle business with all this going on, man. That's all you can do. All right, Mark, what's up, brother? Thanks for the 499. Thanks for being a Scoop Ultra member. Haven't seen the boards in a day or so. Any hint on possible new OC? Yeah, I know Brian Daboll is the name. Nevada's been mentioning that's being looked into. Nevada, did you have any other names beyond Daboll?
Well, I mean, I haven't really dug all that much. That's the name that seems to be the popular name, kind of percolating around. What I'm really trying to figure out is what the Chip Kelly story is, because Chip just seems to make so much sense, given his relationship with Ryan, given the fact he's available, given the fact that the Raiders are paying him so much money for the next 2 years. So that's what I really want to get a handle on that. But I do think it's going to be. I know for a fact it's going to be a high level guy. It's going to be a Matt Patricia level type of hire. It's not going to be, you're not going to hire from within. It's not going to be Keenan Bailey promoted there, or Devin Jordan, or whatever, or Ryan Day's kid. This is going to be a serious hire from a serious guy. That's why I think Daboll makes so much sense, given his experience at both the NFL level and the college level.
Got you. You got anything on that, Dev, before we move on?
I mean, I'll say Matty P really wasn't on anybody's lists at first either. So We'll see, but I trust Day.
All right, real quick, fellas, because it's in the title. So I want to take a quick moment before we finish Super Chats to address this. Did Notre Dame get robbed? And I know y'all heard they opted out. They opted out of their bowl game. I don't even know who they were supposed to play, but they opted out of their bowl game. Do you agree they got robbed? Alabama shouldn't have got in over them. What's our quick thoughts on that?
Well,
Dev,
first of all, I just want to say the reason the reason not to opt the reason to opt out of this is because, and this is the one thing people don't ever talk about, is these bowls make you commit to a certain number of tickets that you have to buy to go to these games. You know what I'm saying? And so every team's got to commit to, and I think what Notre Dame's concern was, they're not going to have the interest from their fan base after being left out of a 12-team playoff, after playing the national championship game last year, to go to the Pinstripe Bowl against, Rutgers or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So they were worried that they were going to lose millions of dollars by playing this additional game. And I think it was strictly financial for them. That's not. I don't think it's just arrogance and hubris, because you saw two other teams in the Big 12 opt out of their bowl game for the exact same reason. Because these bowls make you buy. They say you have to buy 30,000 tickets. And if you're looking at it and kind of going, man, my fan base is not going to buy 30,000 tickets, I'm going to be eating 25,000 of those. That's a lot. A lot of teams not that. That's the expansion of the playoff has absolutely killed the rest of the bowls. That is for sure. It's a tough sell for anybody. So I really do have empathy in terms of what's going on. As for them getting screwed, join a conference. Have a better win. I mean, their best win was USC. Have a better win than just USC. Join a conference. No problem. So I think you get what you now. They have a thing in the MOU next year that if they're in the top 12, they're automatically in the playoff. So I think they might be kind of feeling salty now, but I think they feel like they've kind of cemented their way into it next year. Which, frankly, I don't know why they agreed to that in the first place, because I think the college football playoff is just fine without Notre Dame. I don't think Notre Dame deserved to be in it, and I think you get what you deserve, and I don't think they deserved it.
Gotcha. You got anything on that, Dev?
Don't lose to Miami.
Yeah, and that they did. They tried to argue their way out of it, but we all saw it. So there's that. All right, back to Super Chats. All right, Sean Linsky, thanks for the $4.99. What you permit, you promote. Thank you for your service, Brian, but this season is bigger than one man. It's time to cut the cord. Call Chip, Ryan. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot of people are feeling that way. I mean, and again, it's nothing against Brian. We all love him and what he's done here. But at this point, it's like we're staring. We have a real opportunity to make history, not just win another natty, but make history. And so we got to get rid of the distractions. Anything else on this, fellas? I know we kind of been, repeating ourselves.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think this is where we're gonna learn a lot about Ryan on this decision in terms of what he does here, because I think that if he's truly Saban, if he's truly channeling his internal Nick, he'll move on. He'll he'll acknowledge the mistake, and not maybe publicly, but at least by showing it, and move on for a moment and get some other help, get an adult in the room.
Yeah. Anything on that, Dev?
No, I agree.
Get an adult. Hashtag get an adult in the room. Period. All right. Thanks, Ro, for the $4.99. During the SEC ship, all they talked about was all the injuries Bama had, but during our game, they barely mentioned the holding. Always biased. Yeah, I mean, look, watching the end of that game, you know how they were just slobbering all over, trying to, Alabama deserves to get in, and all. It's just what it is, man. And they still deny it, the bias and all the other stuff, but it's clear as day. Dev, how do you feel about this?
Well, this just brought up to me watching our game yesterday and having to listen to Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt. I had some rants about them on live stream. I told myself at the beginning of the live stream, I'm not going to rant about them. I did it about 20 times. It's the most obvious thing ever. I mean, anymore, especially with Joel Klatt. Gus Johnson lost his mind a while ago, especially when you're calling Ohio State games. But the Joel Klatt stuff, I mean, it used to be 90% a clown. Yesterday was 100% clown show by him. Just you can hear just in the tone of their voice, right, when they talk. I know I probably went off the super chat a little bit there, but I did want to bring that up. That is my opinion on those two. It's just got to call the game, leave your emotions out of it, and let's get Jake Butt in to start calling our games.
Yeah, love Jake, man. He's really good. Nevada, did you have anything on this or anything else on this?
No, just I thought the commentary. I literally had to mute the commentary last night. I literally had to mute. So like, and I don't do that. I usually listen to it. And my wife came downstairs and she's like, what are you doing?" And I'm like, I'm watching the game. She's like, "You don't have it on," and I'm like, "I have it on. I just don't want to hear them right now." So yeah, it's a weird way to watch the game in total silence, sitting there with the dog on my lap watching the game. But I couldn't stand to listen to those two idiots babble on and say stupid stuff. So they're just annoying me right now.
Oh man, all right. Sean Linsky, thanks for the 199. Why it's so hard to throw a fade to JJ inside the 10? Yeah, there was a few times he was singled up. Now there were times where the safety did roll over post snap, but there were times he didn't, and he was in the box, and they could have taken a shot. Yeah, that frustrated me. What you got on that, Nevada?
Yeah, run a slant. I mean, like I said, you can run a fade and that's fine, but just do something. Throw the ball like if I had the choice between throwing the ball to JJ and throwing the ball to Bennett Christian, I can tell you who I want to throw it to. So I just think that I don't want to keep going on and being the old guy that repeats himself. But yeah, I think we need a fundamental change of our approach in the red zone, in short yardage. And I think that it's got to start with Ryan Day really looking at what's worked and why this stuff hasn't. He's just got to get rid of this 14 personnel stuff and do it right away.
Dev, you got anything?
Yeah, yesterday I counted during the game, this is without rewatching it yet, on 3 separate occasions inside the red zone, JJ was one-on-one. One of the times was against a freshman corner. It wasn't even D'Angelo Pons. It was a freshman corner, one-on-one on the far side of the field, and we ran the ball. That's just coaching malpractice.
Yeah, not good at all. All right, Ro, thanks for the 499. I thought you were going to lead with the breaking Kerry Combs news. Why take that job? What are your thoughts? You know what? That got overshadowed by just the weekend. I mean, just by everything else. I mean, I think everybody was like this. This is everybody's reaction. For real? Whatever. I mean, like it's just my answer, I guess, is because why take that job? Probably because he needs a job. And at the end of the day, unless you're Urban Meyer or somebody like that, you're going to entertain scum if they try to pay you money and you need a job. I just laughed. I mean, like, okay, whatever. Special teams coordinator, go have fun. Go ahead. What you got, Dev?
Maybe this is just one of Scum's tactics to try to stay relevant and attach their name to Ohio State in this rivalry, because that's all they got. They don't have anything else.
That too, Nevada.
They petty like that. We know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, like Kerry was always close with Michigan. Yeah, he used to take summer camp, take those kids up there to summer camp up in Michigan, wouldn't take them up to Ohio State. So he's always had kind of that Michigan thing with him. So this is on brand as far as I'm concerned. So it was totally not, it wasn't surprising. It was funny. I just got to say this, just kind of related but different topic. Watching Portnoy today, he was trying to like make some big goofy thing about how laughing about Ohio State losing in the Big Ten championship game. It's like, the best thing about being a good troll is when you're a little bit more subtle, when you don't just come across like an idiot like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not even a good troll anymore. So, Dave, you got to pick up your game, man. Your troll game is really, really bad because nobody's taking it seriously that, oh, we're all sad because we lost to Indiana and this makes up for the thrashing, the humiliation that would happen up there in Ann Arbor. So, but anyway, yeah, Michigan people, Kerry, hey, go do your thing, man. Go with God, man.
Go with God, Crispy. That's
Yeah.
a movie quote.
That's that love, Nevada. That's that love, man.
This is the same Timu Pat McAfee, fake Timu Pat McAfee that said he wasn't going to the Big Ten title game because he was butthurt that his Wolverine Queens lost to the Buckeyes. Whatever, man. Sack 3074. Thanks for the 2, and thanks for the super sticker. Don't see those often. All right, we got Sack again. Thanks for the 5. I heard Kerry Combs is working for the team up north. Yep, just address that, of course. It's just, again, it was just really overshadowed by the weekend. I didn't think too much of it. I just kind of smirked and was like, whatever. I don't think people are really – it's just silly. Dev, what you said is actually something I didn't think about, but they don't have any more – they don't have a hold on – what are they going to point to? What are they going to talk about now, right?
Yeah.
What are they going to talk about? Ohio State? Oh, well, 4 in a row. Okay, well, now you got to sit in your post-cheating officially. You have to sit in it and figure out next steps with your overpaid quarterback, your bum coach. Like, what now? So I think that makes a lot of sense.
Aren't they playing Texas? Are they playing Texas in their bowl game?
Yep.
So they're playing in the teams that lost to Ohio State Bowl?
Yes, they are.
Is that what they're playing in? That what it's called? Okay.
I love it. Absolutely. All right, Randy Russell, thanks for the 5. We will we still see 13 or 14 personnel again or Integra? I hope not. I do think we're still going to see 13 or 14 personnel. I just hope we don't see it in the red zone. How about that?
Oh.
You getting a headache just thinking about that, Dev?
I am, dude. You just bro, you brought back. Go watch the live stream. You'll hear what I think about 13, 14 personnel.
Oh man, Nevada, you got anything on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to say that it's dead, but unfortunately, it's kind of like the zombies from like The Walking Dead. You know, like they come back to life, and we're just gonna have to keep killing it. So, I mean, I hope we see less Tegra and less 13 or 14 personnel. That would please me. That would be at least a step in the right. And I do believe that is what we're going to see is less of both. But I don't think we've actually like put the stake through the hearts. I don't think we're going to actually have killed them completely. But I do believe we'll see less.
Yeah. Do you think there's a donation I could make to NIL to get rid of that package this year? You think there's a number we could maybe try to get together? No, probably not.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure we have enough resources to do that. It's
Send them super chats in, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, send those super stickers. We need more super stickers.
More super stickers. I was just thinking to myself, 13 and 14 is those numbers are starting to annoy me more than my 9-year-old son saying 6-7 every 2 minutes.
Oh god, 6-7.
God.
13, 14, baby.
Oh man. Oh.
All right. Moving on. Jesse Ferguson, thanks for the $4.99. What about that fielding dude? Who's going to replace him before the playoffs? Look, I'll just quickly say, because I know there's been some that have, defended him. Like, everybody misses field goals. Listen, everybody doesn't miss 27-yard field goals consistently, okay? He's had a good season bouncing back from the scum debacle where he missed 2 27. One was 30. It was still a chippy. It was chip shot field goals. To me, it's a difference between, okay, well, yeah, everybody misses. He missed a 55-yarder or even a 49-yarder. It was the wind inside of a dome, bro. No wind. 27-yard chippy. Come on, dog. Like Ryan Day always says, do your job. I mean, I'm sorry. He might be a swell young man, a swell lad, but bro, you got to hit a 27-yarder. And so, yes, he makes me nervous going into the playoffs. This kind of derails his consistency this year because I think you said it, Dev. I forget what you said, but you were basically saying like, I mean, he hasn't hit a kick that was under pressure. Like we needed it. Like we really needed it. At least I can't remember one. And so is it going to be in his head going forward? That's got to be worked out. Dev, what you got on that?
We literally have a kicker on the roster. We got out of the portal last year. Jackson Corvell played at Ball State. Yeah. He was 8 for 8 last year in field goals and 30 yards or less, 8 for 8. He also made a 52-yard winning field goal kick when Ball State played like Northern Illinois or something. The previous year, he did not miss a single field goal within 30 yards. He was 30 for 31 on extra points last year. I thought he was going to come in and take Fielding's job outright, to be honest with you, because, I mean, he started for Ball State as a freshman, kicked as a sophomore. It's about the pressure. That's when it matters with a kicker. Nothing against Jaden Fielding as a person, but as a kicker, he is not an Ohio State kicker. He has to go. And people can be mad at me for saying that all you want, but if you can't make a 27-yard field goal, and he clearly can't when he needs to, he is 0 for 3 when we need a 30-yard field goal. 0 for 3 when we need it. That's good enough for me. I've seen all I have to. There is a kicker on the roster that can make 50-yard field goals when we need it, when you have to have it under pressure. And he was a sophomore when he did it. He's a junior this year.
Nevada, real quick, before you respond, I wanted to mention, because I was a little shaky about Joe McGuire at the Texas game. Remember, at the Texas game, we talked about Joe McGuire. He didn't look too great. Well, he actually had a pretty good game yesterday from what I saw. He's improved a lot. I just wanted to put that out there, give him props. Nevada, what you got on Fielding?
Well, here's the thing, guys. One, kicking at Ball State is not the same as kicking at Ohio State. Okay, different levels of pressure. And when those two guys have kicked off against each other, and they've had many a kickoff, they put those guys through competition every week. Fielding's been better. Now, I'm not saying that guy couldn't have made the kick yesterday, because he probably would have, but I think Fielding's our best option. I know that's not a popular opinion. I know that the popular take is move on from Fielding. We got to get on. What are we doing? The challenge is that Fielding, when they kick right next to each other, same situation, Fielding outperforms them. So yeah, it's a conundrum. It's a genuine conundrum. So Fielding was not filling me with confidence before that kick. Like when they lined that up, I was not feeling like that thing. It was not
I had a
like,
bad
oh,
feeling
this is going. Yeah, I'm just that first one kind of sliced in. It was like heading to the left, and then it
was
sliced
like
to the right.
this.
Yeah, and so the fact that he missed it wasn't a shock to me. I don't know what this is one of those ones. I hate to identify a problem without identifying the solution. And Devin, you've identified a solution. I'm not sure I'm there on that one. I'm not sure I have one for Fielding other than hoping that he's better. And I know hope is not a strategy, but it's a tough one. What I think the answer long term is you have to go out and get the best kicker, and we're Ohio State. Go get the best kicker in the country every year. But even I'd say, Michigan had the best kicker in the country like last year. He came back this year and he hasn't been great. So, sometimes the kickers, man, it's a weird thing. If stuff gets in your head and stuff happens, I think the best thing we can do right now is all just kind of pray for Fielding, pray that he finds some peace and some consistency, and manages to kick him well for 3 games, and then we wish him well in his life afterwards as a soccer coach or whatever he's going to be doing.
Buckeye Nation, look, we're going to go to church. Stretch forth your hand towards Fielding right now and pray. Pray for that young man's matter right now in the name of Jesus. Come on. Like, whatever. No, seriously, like for real. Like, I think it was in his head. He felt the pressure. He missed it. He needs to get it out of his head and move on and get over that mental hump going to the playoffs. That's the goal. Dev, you about to say something?
I am praying for Jackson Corville to beat him in practice this week.
Oh man, hey, whatever it takes, man.
That would please me. Please. Do it. Yeah. Come on, Jackson, let's go.
Yeah. Mark, what's up, brother? Thanks for the 49. There's more growth in the valley. Talk about a preacher. This is a word right here from the preacher, Mark. There's more growth in the valley than on a mountaintop. OH, fellas.
I
don't think there's anything else to be said after that. That's a word, sir.
No.
I receive it. Roll, thanks for the $4.99. I wanted the undefeated season, but then I thought about who talks about the 72 Dolphins, just the 72 Dolphins. I can't wait for my back-to-back shirt. Listen, it's all we have a recent reference point last year. Like, this team is talented. They need to make the corrections, and like Nevada been saying, I agree with Nevada. And I agree with Dev. They both said the fixes are there. We have answers. Now we need to implement those answers. 3 weeks, work it, rep it, do whatever we got to do. Take the kinks out, remove what hasn't been working, and what did not work against the best team we've played, and let her rip tater chip, as Nevada likes to say. Nevada, what you got?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, it would have been nice, the undefeated thing, but I'm telling you, I really, from having been, on teams or coach teams and think, sometimes getting that first loss out of your way. I just think that I like when yeah, I've got a pissed off team. I like when I've got a team that's chomping to get back out there and get that bad taste out of their mouth, as opposed to ingesting the rat poison of Big Ten champs. We're the best. We're number one. Julian's going to win the Heisman. That has those 2006 vibes to me. You know what I'm saying? You win all those games. You beat Michigan. Troy Smith wins the Heisman. You go there, and then you lay the egg. I like the fact that nobody's going to be sitting there at the WAC this next 3 weeks going, "Hey, we the best. We don't need to improve on a thing. We got it. We got this." They're going to be like, "Hey, what do we got to do to fix this?" And I like when you're fixing, not rest on your laurels. But that's just my thoughts.
Amen. Devin?
I believe we're still the odds-on favorite to win the Natty in some places. I haven't confirmed that, but I've seen people say that. But yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, I went from 75% confident we're going back to back to 85% confident we're going back to back now. So we're going back to back, Buckeye Nation. It's gonna happen, bro. I mean, this team, this is what we needed to happen. Ryan Day, we got the blueprint from last year. I mean, all is well. We just worked out our kinks. Everything we've said this show, this team is still the best team in the nation. We just got our kinks worked out in a game that did not matter in terms of our number one goal, which is winning a national title. Still have Julian saying we still have the two number one first round draft picks. Caden McDonald, all these players still play for us. They didn't leave. They didn't quit the team. We got this, man. We freaking got this.
Yeah, we do. For sure. We'll shake this off. We're within 24 hours. We're processing it now. It's funny, fellas. I was just thinking to myself, this is basically a post-game live show a day later. We just did it a day later. If you think about it, we didn't have a chance to get our thoughts out. And so this is dope. I'm glad that it actually worked out this way with all three of us on here.
No, I needed this therapy session.
Yeah,
I needed
it. And I'm glad. Nevada's Packers taking it down to the wire with the Bears kind of helped bring this together. It was a blessing in disguise, and he got the win. So that's good. Pinky in the house. Thanks for the $4.99. There's a report Hartline may not continue to coach at Ohio State. Nothing official yet. I don't know if that report is what you saw on Twitter. I'm not going to mention the account, but that report came out before Ryan Day's presser, I believe. I'm pretty confident it did. And he already said he's coming back. So, I mean, unless something broke 5 minutes ago.
That was just all that was a guy taking a stab. That maybe he'll come back, maybe he won't, and he's just trying to, like, he doesn't have any information. I know that article's got, that tweet's got a lot of circulation, but I called it at the time. I'm like, this guy's just taking a stab at it. So, could Day make something? But yeah, but that Twitter account, it was just throwing stuff out there for clicks.
Agreed. Dev, you got something on that?
No.
Got you. All right. Roll, thanks for the $4.99. You guys aren't taking into account today's technology. Like the Scoop Show, Brian can video call into the O State meetings. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to do that, maybe, but that's not the same as being there present with your players. And, when Ryan Day says they had a good look in their eyes, well, it's just not, it's not quite the same if you're not there. The bottom line is he's at a different program. He's the head coach at a different program for a week. And so are we saying that it's not possible for him to still basically help this team win another natty? No, we're not saying that. We're saying it's a distraction, and it's definitely to be charitable. It's a challenge. It's challenging. It's adding more challenge to the situation. And so they're going to have to get over this hump of this distraction. Can they do it, Nevada?
Yeah, I see. I look at it like kind of like in like Return of the Jedi, when they had like the virtual meetings there with the Emperor and the stuff, and he came in as like a hologram or something like that. That they've got like a holographic Brian Hartline that's there. You call in from Mons Venus down in Tampa, like calling into the meetings there and saying, "Hey guys, I'm here. I'm ready to I'm ready to do some game planning and doing some stuff right there," and they'll do it. But no, short of that. To me, it's just the message. It just, the players know, the players aren't stupid. If they see that you're not there, and then you're trying to tell them how they need to be focused, and they're like, dude, you're not focused. So In my situation in business, when I have something like that, I cut it off. Even if it's hard, and sometimes like this it does and it hurts, but I'd cut it off and just move forward.
Dev?
Yeah, Nevada, perfect example. I mean, I've given several of my employees like 2-week notices. They've given them to me, and in that conversation, I've just said, "Nah, you should probably just go now, man." That's just kind of what it is. And the whole, I mean, it's kind of like this. I mean, dude, virtually, I don't even have to wear pants right now. You guys don't know. There's a difference between coming on a meeting over a camera and in person. But ultimately, I'm not going to make too big of a deal. If he goes, if he stays, I trust Ryan Day. Ryan Day knows what's up. He's probably not going to be putting everything on Brian Hartline's plate now because he knows the dude's got a head coaching job. So I think either way it goes, Ryan Day is about to take a lot of this offensive planning on himself. So whether he goes or stays, I personally am not going to make a big deal of whether we're going to have success or no success, depending on whether he stays or goes, or whatever.
Dev, you just said if he stays or goes 3 times. And you know what you did to me? For you Stranger Things fans out there, he has that "Should I stay or should I go" song stuck in my head again.
No.
All right, man. All right. Here we go. Let's see what we got next. Pooh Beard, thanks for the $4.99. Thanks for being a scoop out. Remember, why doesn't our D-line run more stunts, twist? Is this an LJ thing? I feel like we could generate more pressure than we do. Our O-line couldn't handle it. Yeah. I mean, good question. I mean, we have done some stunts this year, but not to the level of Indiana. That seems to be a staple of what they do, and they do it well. And yeah, we did struggle with it. So I don't know. I mean, you got any thoughts on that, Dev?
I trust Matt Patricia. The defense wasn't the reason we lost the game. This defense is one of the best defenses I've ever seen play the game. So whatever they're doing now, I mean, other teams don't have linebackers like we have either. So
True.
Defensive linemen need to go run stunts and twists and all that. I mean, the defensive linemen doing what they're doing now frees up our freak linebackers to do things. I mean, again, I think that was brought up because, I just give literally zero fault to the defense for the loss that we just incurred. I think we keep doing what we're doing. If we only give up 13 points to the number one offense statistically in the nation, we should be able to score more than 13 points on offense and go win a national title.
Agreed, Nevada.
Yeah, I think it's just about lane discipline. I think Ohio State's big on lane discipline about keeping the quarterback, identified, and then especially against a team like Indiana, where Mendoza likes to run. And look, you can do that against Ohio State because Sane doesn't run. So we're in a situation where you don't have to worry about. You can get out of your lanes. Julian doesn't run it a lot. Ohio State really, prides themselves on being able to, run that contain, keep those guys in there, keep those hands up. And frankly, I thought the pressure yesterday was outstanding. I thought that was Caden Curry's best game by far. I mean, he was an absolute wrecking ball from the first snap to the last snap. He was unbelievable in that game. Kenyatta was great. We were getting pressure when we weren't getting held. So I just think the stunting, when you stunt, you twist, you lose lane discipline, you lose lane integrity. And I think Ohio State's worried about doing that.
That makes sense too. And yeah, both great points. It's like, I mean, and great question because it's a fair question. But yeah, man, our D is on point. It's just like whatever we're doing, keep doing it. All right, what we got next here? Paul Moss, thanks for the 5. Jonah Quoza, Highland, #1 kicker in Ohio and 5-star class of 2027. I haven't. Are you hip? Dev, you hip to this player?
No, I'm not.
I'm gonna have to go check them out. You said
I'm about to be.
Is a 5-star? Hold on.
I think there's a 5-star kicker in this 26 class from Ohio, though.
Okay, well, we need to be on their porch right now talking NIL and what do you need, son, to come here? Because it's like we gotta get our Nugent swag back, man. Like I miss Nugent. I miss a very, very reliable kicker, man. We just haven't had
Mike Nugent, freshman year, 7 of 14 kicking.
Oh, he was bad his freshman year. Yeah.
Everybody wanted to throw that bum out. We're just like, this guy sucks. Let's get rid of him. And now, like, he's NFL guy for 15 years. And we talk about sometimes with kickers, man, it's mental. You just gotta lay it out with them and and be a little patient. And I think that's what we got. We just got to believe in Fielding, man. He's got to get us 3 more games. That's what we got to do.
Yep. No, I agree. That's fair. That's good perspective there, Nevada. Speaking of Nevada, you mentioned Philip Polayet. Thanks for the 5. One more episode left of Stranger Things for me. Nevada, give it another shot. It gets good. Honorable mention for Mayor of Kingstown. So yeah, I'm gonna keep pitching Nevada on Stranger Things. I was slow to the ball, but I jumped on it. It's a very good show. I still gotta watch. I'm behind. I've only watched 3 episodes of the new season. I have not watched Patton yet. I've been up to my ears in Scum Week and Big Ten title game, and in life and daddy and husband and coach, and I gotta catch up. But Nevada, I do think you should circle back to Stranger Things, bro.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, the plants where they're eating people and they're hitting them with like clubs, and so there's a lot of stuff going on, man. A lot of stuff going on in Stranger Things. So I'm just
a lot of strange things happening in Stranger Things, Nevada.
It's worth it, man. It's worth getting through the sci-fi freakiness. I'm telling you, it's some good stuff. But anyway, Dev, did you have anything on that?
I love it, but I haven't started the new season yet. But I do remember going through the first ones, and I got addicted to it. It's a good show.
It's definitely addictive.
It's not House of the Dragons or Game of Thrones, but it'll work.
Yeah. Game of Thrones is goated for me. Regardless of season 8, whatever, Game of Thrones is just incredible. All right, last super chat here, Christopher J. Rich Pisces. Thanks for the 999. When my dad coached in the 80s and 90s, he always used to say to his offensive linemen, "Listen, boys, if the bouncers can't bounce, the dancers can't dance." I love it. That's definitely some throwback type stuff. Nevada, you a throwback cat. What you got on that?
Yeah, it's like Roadhouse, man. We're gonna be nice until we're not gonna be nice. Then we're gonna, but no. Look, I thought the offensive line, once they made some little adjustments there, and when we came out, we were a little less predictable. We ran some of that bootleg action, so those passes to clear out. I'm just like, man, I don't know how you stop this. So I think that those 2 last drives, I mean, 81 yards, 70 yards, they never stopped us. We stopped ourselves. So. I think we've got the answers, as you said. I think the answers are obvious and right in front of us. We just got to do it.
Just got to do it. I agree. Well, listen, man, we could literally go on another hour with just thoughts and analysis. Y'all keep saying stuff in the chat that's like, "Oh yeah, I wanted to touch on that," or whatever. But listen, we are almost 2 hours in, and we still could just go so much further. Like,
we got 3 weeks, B. I got 3 weeks of shows.
I'm going to just chop it up because I want to say so much more about this game. But we're going to spread it out, and we're going to, we got a while to go, man, to get ready for this, whoever we play in the Cotton Bowl. But any last words y'all got? Nevada, you start off with you?
No, just keep the faith. I from the bottom of my heart, I believe last night was beneficial to our goal of winning the national championship. I really, 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 really believe that, and we'll see how that goes. And I don't want to think about Devin not having pants on or something. You guys, you talk about Stranger Things, man. That's like I don't even want to get into that, man.
Oh man,
he's our Jeffrey Tubin here on the Buckeye Scoop.
Fellas, I did an interview with a recruit a while back, and I had on a collared shirt, an Ohio State collared shirt, and we got done with the show, and I stood up. We were still chopping it up, and I had on these like really short American flag shorts, and he started busting out laughing. He's like, "Brother, what are you wearing?" It's like, bro, you only see from here up,
Oh man, that's funny, man.
Buckeye fans, we good, man. We good. I'm with Nevada. Took me a little bit to get to that point, but man, dude, if you can't remember what happened last year and, you're down and out on this team already, then I can't help you. You should stay out then because you watched it last year. So I'm on Team Nevada here. I think this ultimately is going to help us do this. The only thing I'm not on Team Nevada for is I will be praying for Jackson Corvell to win the practice battle.
Hey, we're all there. I want them to kick 67 straight field goals and win over the job and run out on the field, and we'll be
Yeah.
chanting Jackson together at the Cotton Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, man. We got a lot to address and clean up and get ready for this game, man. And I trust Day. I trust this coaching staff. Are they perfect? No, they're not. No coaching staff is perfect. Not even the great Saban and his coaching staff. You lose games. You do dumb stuff sometimes. But I have confidence that they'll circle the wagons and get things right. And, we'll shake this off, man. Listen, we got first world problems over here. Indiana, there's fans right now are somewhere weeping, hugging their family for the win on Saturday. That was their Super Bowl. That they haven't seen anything like this their entire lives, literally. Let them bask in it. Like Prince Akeem on Coming to America said, let them wear our princely robes. When they stole their stuff in Queens and whatever. Coming to America. Point is, they haven't tasted this. Okay, cool. They earned it. They won it. Have at it. We after natties. It's move on time, natty time. We got the blueprint and this coaching staff. I think we'll make the fixes and it'll be good to go. Listen, y'all have a great evening. We're going to have another great week. We're going to break everything down more, the matchup we get or we possibly get. We're going to talk about whatever pops up. If Hartline stays in Florida, if he doesn't stay, whatever. Stuff is going to break. We're going to talk about it. We love y'all, Buckeye Scoop family, Buckeye Nation. Until next time, peace and go Bucks.